When we talk about succession, we're talking about transferring some entity from one generation to another generation.
And how do you pass it on? So you think about 4 generations from now. How are they going to know that they're in the right stream, in the right thing? What is it that they're receiving, that they're going to run in? And the way to pass that on is not through lands and buildings and policies, God forbid, and flow charts and all that kind of stuff. The way to pass that on is through the stories of the miracles of God. And that's why all of us, guys, are so inclined toward media and worship and music and all the different media that passes an idea, passes a story, passes a core belief, a vision, a culture onto another generation. All of the things that tell our story. And our story is what's going to go from generation to generation to generation and build and produce more stories like it. You can walk into any tribe anywhere in the world, and they believe the same things about themselves, about their tribe, as their great-great-great-great-great-grandfathers and grandmothers believed, and those things were passed on by the stories of the ancestors, right? The stories of the elders. We're telling the passion vividly so that it can be passed on from generation to generation. And the reason that it succeeds is because people don't catch your position. They're not catching the organizational structure. They're catching the story. They're catching the heart of what it is that's brought you to where you are now.
But succession gets so involved in personal feelings and personal preferences and even personal importance. And we've got to be able to lay all that aside and look at what it is that really needs to succeed, what really needs to carry on, what's worth having to carry on. And so
I know the devil doesn't want us making leaders. Enemies from without and enemies from within. But let me tell you a couple stories.
There's a guy I know in Canada here that has built a great ministry, like ministered to thousands of people, probably over the last 50 years, gone to some very exotic and challenging places. A man of tremendous faith, a lot of healings and miracles.
In the last couple of years, he's thought, I'm going to pass this on to somebody. He's got somebody in mind, right? That he wants this person to take his place and continue to lead the ministry.
And then suddenly the younger guy decides, that's not what I want to do. I'm going somewhere else, so he left.
Well, now this 50-year-old ministry has no plan of succession. And so actually what this guy said, he says, I'm just going to run my ministry out to the end. Wow.
And I think that's a big fear, a big concern that we have, isn't it? Like, what if I spend all my time and I'm looking at one certain person to be the successor?
The success of succession is not tied to one person who might want to do what you did.
In Asia, in our ministry, for example, and all of those of you that are involved in it understand and see this, that
and I've learned this from watching other guys make mistakes.
Succession does not mean that we're trying to find another Alan Terry
to put in charge of the ministry. That would be devastating in so many ways. First of all, it would destroy the heart of the people that we've been raising up to think in terms of, this is your ministry, this is our family.
There is a whole generation of the people that we father, the people that we've raised up, that are going to take this thing and not make it the same as we made.
We don't need somebody to do that again.
But to take it to the next level, to take it to the next expanse, the next levels of creativity and change.
We're looking for who can take it from where it is now and continue to grow it with exponential growth, not run it out to the end. Oh boy.
If you're trying to maintain something through succession, you're going to be really disappointed like that. So for me, succession means a different model of ministry, a different model of leadership, a different model of organization. And
does it look like replacing me with someone like me? No.
When we go from one model of ministry to another model of ministry, it gives us the opportunity to take it to the next level.
Moving into a new level or a new organizational structure even, that will allow for greater growth.
And of course, we've gone from the pioneer model, which is
the singular apostolic pattern of ministry, model of ministry, which is Terry and I pioneering into new areas and breaking stuff open, to
plurality of apostolic ministry, an apostolic company, right?
A group, and so we call it the round table. How does that work? That sounds really good. No, it only sounds good if the people at the round table are true brothers and sisters, and they're only true brothers and sisters if I'm a true apostolic father.
You can see why it has to be built over a lifetime. If we hadn't built that father to son relationship throughout all of our young men and women and young generations that are raising up, then there wouldn't be that idea, that picture, right? That concept of how we can take this not only into the next generation successfully, but we can grow it and expand it into the next possibility.
See, that's the downfall if succession doesn't work. Is somebody's got to pioneer again in the very thing that you did. Start over again at zero. And the whole deal, the whole goal for me is that we're not having to start over again, but we can actually give what we've invested in to someone else so that they can take it to the next level, the place where it needs to be.
So succession is not about finding that right person. It's about being that right person. It's like being married, you know. If you want to have a good marriage, if you want to find a great spouse, a great partner in life, don't worry about finding the right person so much as about being the right person. If you become the right person, you'll end up with the right spouse, right? And the same thing, if we become the right leaders, a leader with true heart. In our model, we're not choosing a right person, we're choosing a right group of people, a right family, a right generation that's going to carry this thing. So look to the vision, look to the culture, look to what it is that's really of value, that's going to last for hundreds of years, that can be passed from generation to generation, not just to the next generation that you're passing it to, but to their generations following them. And so if you're trying to keep things the same, you're really going to stifle the future. If you're looking for somebody to take what you've built, nobody actually wants it. They're not thinking, oh yeah, I want to have what he's got. No, they're thinking, what can I build? In succession, we are looking at an opportunity for the next generation to invest their lives into what it is that God has called them to do.